Now for something. And now for something completely different.
Forget everything you've been told by others before. Get ready for the real deal. The full story. Real talk about money, markets, life. Now, it's The Real Investment Show, presented by RIA Advisors.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Financial Fitness Friday. I'm Rich Rosso, CFP, here with baritone John Penn.
Good morning.
How you doing there, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good.
For a Friday morning.
We're back to our schedule. We have been all over the place on Fridays, Danny and I. One thing, we have been at Texas A&M with the financial planning upcoming graduates, these young adults. I will say, John Penn, the future of financial planning is in good hands.
It really is.
Yeah. I was incredibly overwhelmed with, let's just say impressed. I was overwhelmed with the knowledge base, the broad knowledge they had. So when I received my certification, most people did the certification not to follow a fiduciary standard. They did it to sell product.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So because it was just look at that, must mean something. Nobody cared whether you learned about Social Security, Medicare, retirement income. Nobody cared. Today, these students, the last thing they want to do is sell. Now, yes, they have to sell themselves and so forth, but they don't see the CFP as a way to sell product. They see it as a way to provide full guidance to clients who they want to nurture and care for. This group is, and I'm sure it's at the same at other financial planning curriculums around the country, is very, very different.
They're very, it seems to me they're very honed in. They're very focused on, to your point, it's not just about getting out there and selling a particular product.
Yes.
It very much is, how can I really, they're really looking at this from a holistic practice.
They are. They are. So we're there trying to look at, for us, like John Penn is, the next generation of advisors to keep RIA advisors going, especially as Lance gets crabbier.
He still can't retire. His plan says no.
No, he'll be the crab in the corner.
Sorry, Lance.
Yeah. And I don't understand, what's his problem with the coffee here? There's nothing wrong with the coffee. What kind of coffee? Is he getting French press every morning? Like, what's he doing? I could see him going into the gas station and just pulling the pot that's been sitting there all night.
For
that's
like
what
3 days.
Yeah, so what's wrong with the coffee?
You're drinking motor oil.
Yeah.
I'm going to pour some of this down my block
When did
real
he
quick,
get
and I'll
so
drink
frou-
whatever's left
When
over.
did he get so frou-frou? I don't understand.
He's frou-frou?
Not lately. No,
Oh.
usually not. But the coffee here he's got a problem with. I'm like, it's not too bad.
Oh. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. That's Brent's got nothing to say. So futures are up. S&P futures up 10. NASDAQ futures up 79. Dow Jones futures up 13. Yes, chat, there was nothing wrong with me. I didn't have any kind of parts removed. It was all traveling and Texas A&M and other stuff. Firm stuff. But we missed all of you. So, I mean, Netflix really set the tone for things. I was actually sort of impressed with what Netflix had to say. Obviously, a lot of these streaming plans are in flux, right? Because you don't know who's popular, what's not popular. I mean, if it wasn't for Taylor Sheridan, I don't know where Paramount Plus would be, because he seems to have a liking for them. So all his new programming, Lioness, he's got this one called, you got to watch it. It's going to be called Landman, and it's about Texas oil drillers. Did you see the promo for that?
I haven't yet.
With Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good then.
Holy camole.
Yeah.
That is going to be real good. So, to me, I have a hard time owning these companies, John, because it's just like owning restaurant stocks to me. It's so fickle. Who's watching? Do they drop the service? People are saving money. Then all of a sudden they don't want to do, password swaps, which I agree with. But I always worried about what those earnings would look like.
Well,
so it seemed like if they came in okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we get into a little bit of a rockier economic environment, if folks are starting to cut back
That's
on
like
their
the first thing
discretionary expenses out there, I mean, they're going to look at. I would think they would look at their subscriptions and where can they pare that down, right?
Yeah. I mean, their earnings were $5.40. They're up 5% in the pre-market, 5.6%. So beat expectations really nicely, I think. Upbeat outlook for December quarter. So that was all great. That, again, I thought that was really good. Then on the other side of the coin, you have companies like CVS that are going to replace CEO Karen Lynch with a new executive. Well, actually, who's been there, David Joyner. So that stock's down about 20% this year. And I don't understand, on a valuation basis, now we have owned CVS and we've pulled our hair out owning it, and we've gotten out, and then we look at it again and it looks like a value trap, but they still have tremendous cash flows. Like, it's really fickle, because when you look inside the company itself, somehow they still make money and they still have decent cash flows. But I don't understand the business models anymore of a lot of these pharmacies. They, I walk into Walgreens or CVS, and I don't know. It's like they change things around a lot. They're really trying to figure out what they're going to be when they grow up, right? CVS was moving into more health services, Medicare Advantage, and we're going to be talking a lot about lots of changes for Medicare coming up that you all need to know about. Not you youngins, but maybe you have parents, grandparents that are going, what am I doing here? My plan's changing again. So I'm going to go in the woods. I'm not even taking any more drugs. So you got to keep this in mind, that there are certain businesses that are, they don't know how to navigate this environment at all. I'm sure it's not helping in certain cities where you have to lock everything down. I have a friend in New York. He goes, Rich, I can't even go through a Walgreens. I got to have somebody beside me to open up for toothpaste, deodorant. He's like, that can't that can't last. There's no way these stores are going to last. And I noticed their footprints are really shrinking. So I don't know.
Yeah, and just we were at Shauna and I went into a CVS a couple weekends ago. Early afternoon. I think there were maybe 4 people in the store. There were. I mean, it was like it looked like a scene from The Walking Dead. I was like, where is everybody? Did the zombies come? I mean, who knows? Maybe we just hit it at the off time, but it just seems like if I ever go into it just seems like there's not a lot of people there. And I know that CVS, you're reducing their store front count.
Yes.
And just reducing the number of stores that they have just to help bring down and control cost. But it just seems as of late, if I go in there for anything, there aren't a whole lot of folks. And I was out of coffee at home, so I bought a bag of coffee there. Mistake. You know how much just for what they charge for a bag of coffee? Ridiculous. It was like $12.99, but I needed it, so I bought it. Versus what I usually pay at like the H-E-B or the Kroger.
What kind of coffee do they sell there?
It was just community coffee, just a
bag.
Just a bag of. I know, Brent. I'm sorry. I was desperate.
Brent's not into community coffee.
I know, but I'm sorry, but I was desperate, and so there was
Brent,
a bag of coffee.
He's getting like Lance now with the coffee.
Yeah.
How dare you bring up the word
under
community?
his breath? How dare you buy that? I
see they sell Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but the weirdest thing about Dunkin' Donuts coffee, it does not taste the same when you make it at home versus going to the location. I cannot figure the darn thing out. I'm like, it's.
What do you like? Do you like it at home better or there better?
There at the store.
Maybe are they cleaning the machines? I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of
I'm cleaning my machine.
Okay.
I'm using the vinegar and I'm doing it. Oh, good morning from Tampa. Hope, Jamie, you are safe. I love that part of the country, and really it was devastating to see some of the stuff going on over there, right? All right, we get back. Got a lot to talk about this morning. We might have to take over Chris Salcedo's hour. Sorry, Chris. I'm kidding. We'll be right back.
Get daily investment news you can use, delivered at the speed of the internet at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Medicare Open Enrollment is underway. If you need Medicare insurance coverage, RIA advisors can help. Understanding Medicare choices, enrollment deadlines, and costs are essential to your overall standard of living in retirement. The wrong choices can cost you thousands in lost benefits and penalties. Make sense of Medicare's alphabet soup with RIA advisors' online resources and one-on-one partners to help secure the healthcare insurance choice that's right for your lifestyle and budget. Click on the insurance tab at realinvestmentadvice.com today. realinvestmentadvice.com.
When it comes to wealth management, most people think of stocks and bonds, but it's like enjoying one layer in a 7-layer cake. At RIA Advisors, we want to make sure you get your cake and eat it too. Social Security, Medicare, creating a tax-friendly retirement paycheck. Perhaps you're saving for college. How about life insurance, guaranteed income solutions, all along with comprehensive planning. At RIA, a holistic approach to your money is our priority. Call us today, 855-RIA-PLAN, or find us online at realinvestmentadvice.com. realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
Small businesses are discovering that attracting and retaining top talent come down to more than just salary. In today's highly competitive job market, compensation is more than just wages. Hi, I'm Tom Allen, RIA Advisors Retirement Plan Consultant. Healthcare and retirement plans can make the difference in hiring and retaining the best employees. We can show you how to build an affordable, effective employment package that delivers true value for your workers and your business. Call me toll-free at 855-RIA-PLAN or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
And now, another page from the Real Investment Advisors Investing Manifesto. Bulls win in bull markets. Bears win in bear markets. Eagles soar above and take advantage of opportunity. Let us help you soar as you reach your financial goals with RIA Advisors. Neither bull nor bear. RIA Advisors, 281-501-1791 or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
I think Larry Smith on the chat's a bot, or he's a real person.
I think it's real.
I think he's real. He makes me crack up sometimes, but he's like, instant coffee. So during the hurricane, I went and I bought H-E-B hazelnut instant coffee.
Yeah.
I still can taste it in my mouth. I can still feel the aftertaste. Now, I remember growing up and my parents drinking Taster's Choice or Sanka. I mean, growing up in Brooklyn, nobody, I mean, unless you were going to take the percolator out, but nobody wanted to do that. You made instant coffee. That's what you drank.
Yeah.
And it was all these different brands, Nescafe, all of these. Taster's Choice was always the popular one. Like, they used to have these sultry commercials like, hey, can I borrow a cup of Taster's Choice?
I don't think
Today those
he's
ads
AI.
would not fly, man.
I don't think it's a bot. I don't even think AI knows what instant coffee is.
It goes, does not compute.
Doesn't know.
Does not compute. Yeah. It doesn't. So, I mean, if I had to, I guess I would drink cold instant coffee. Does not sound appetizing
No.
to me. I think I'm going to get Lance as a gag gift for Christmas since he doesn't listen anyway. Taster's Choice. I think they still make it. I'm going to wrap it up for him.
Are you going to imprint his face on it?
I should.
Enjoying the cup of coffee with his velvet robe.
Probably has
Folgers.
a Surgeon
Folgers.
General's warning on the
used
label.
To make some form of instant coffee, I think, before they went into this. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
When power goes out in Houston after a storm or what have you, or somebody sneezes around here, I will find a way to make a regular cup of coffee. Even if I have to boil water and use, I do have a French press. I'm a coffee snob.
Oh,
I will put it in there, and
You'll do your best.
I will do
to
my
make
best.
it work.
Yep.
You'll make it worse. I think Brent's favorite is it Black Rifle?
Death
Or
Wish.
Death Wish.
Death Wish coffee.
10,000 milligrams of caffeine.
As the woman used to say, it's the richest kind.
Who was that? That was
I can't remember her name.
I know, but I remember. In case we're dating ourselves. Can you imagine when you first started drinking coffee? You remember when your first cup of coffee? I do, and I thought it was magical. Like I could see color, I could feel colors moving. Like with that, you've never had caffeine before in your life, and then you're drinking coffee.
And you wake
And
up.
I only started in college during my finance class,
Taste
and I was like,
colors.
I think I could see through the board. Does this always work like this?
The sky is blue.
It was better than those X-ray specs. I saw everybody naked with one cup of coffee. Not that was good, though. But I'm saying is, speaking of coffee, Procter & Gamble reported this morning. Looks like everything was in line. But China weighed on sales. So that's what I think is going to be an ongoing thing for a lot of these consumer companies, right?
Yeah.
Because China is hurting. What you're starting to see is globalization crack. You're starting to see more and more countries taking their marbles and going home. I mean, I understand it's the U.S. mostly, as we hear the talk out there from, Donald Trump and others. But the point is, there is this phase now where globalization is losing some of its luster. In some ways, globalization was great to bring in new products and open up new markets. But when it came to financial alchemy, personally, that didn't work, right? We saw the financial crisis just circulate around the globe. Correlation of assets.
Yes.
Diversification is sort of dead. And I can argue that in some ways stock diversification still is. But everything is so highly correlated. But I remember during the financial crisis, the one thing that really tipped it was China. I think it was Jason Tennert. He's really good analyst. He's still out there today. He was saying, listen, if you want to watch U.S. markets and how they perform, watch China, because they were a lot more linked. So in other words, in the past, our market wouldn't be doing as well as it is with China doing as poorly as it is. So I've noticed that as a big change. So we're going to go through this period where globalization is going to start to break. And I don't really know, what that looks like. Peter Zane is a great author, looks at everything from a real global perspective, talks about this in a lot of his books. And you definitely can see it. And just the fact that the China markets and U.S. markets are not so sensitive to each other tells me that. So it's just interesting to see. Listen, everybody's talking about this international diversification. International is not done anything for you. There's nothing in modern portfolio theory that says that you must own international. That was created by Wall Street compliance departments and product pushers. Okay? Because markets became more tightly correlated, it didn't really matter. You never know, John. If we start to break up, not break up in the sense of, oh my God, tyranny. I'm talking about less globalization. Maybe you will see some benefit to seeing some of those markets internationally might actually provide diversification that they do not do
currently. Yeah. I mean, I think I remember, in kind of in my upbringing in the financial industry, it was always, well, in the portfolio, you have to have so much in the U.S. markets. You have to have so much in the mid-cap space. At all times, we will keep X amount in the small-cap space.
Yes.
The international markets, the emerging market piece. At all times, it was very rigid. It was very static, for lack of better words, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So Jamie in chat says something very important. She says, he says, U.S. is no longer willing to defend global trade like it used to in the past. The pandemic put a fork in it. It did. The pandemic was the ultimate destroyer to some degree. I mean, it busted the foundation when we depend on so much on China, especially for pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Like, why do I want my pharmaceuticals? This is why this argument of the dollar dying and petrodollars and all this junk, who is going in their right mind putting their money with Russia or China or any alliance thereof? Nobody. Because as dysfunctional as we are, and we are dysfunctional, compared to the rest of the world, we're still like the cleanest dirty shirt. The dollar still represents something because the country is bigger than any president or any administration, because times change, but America stays the same, although some can argue it's not. But for the most part, you got to do it on a relative basis, compare it to everybody else, and then realize, why the heck would I put my money anywhere else but the United States of America?
Yeah, I mean, it's the largest liquid market. You're going to put money in, and you can get your money back. I mean, there's a couple of families that I'm working with who, their moms and dads, they were in China, living in China. They passed away, bless their hearts. And now the son, daughter, who they're trying to get the assets out of China into their U.S. accounts, and I can't tell you how many years it's been. It's just taken forever, right?
It makes you want to have some of that Vitametavegamin that Larry Smith is talking about. Remember that episode from Lucy? It's tasty, too.
Vitametavegamin.
I'll just remember, just like candy, it's tasty, too. Remember? As she goes on.
She'd get drunk
she's
from the
getting
commercial.
That's what Larry said. It's not a bot. Larry's real. He said, remember, Lucy got drunk during the commercial.
She did.
Yeah.
As she kept taking teaspoons or tablespoons of it, she was...
It's good for you.
Man, there was nobody like Lucy, man. I tell you. She was a comedy genius.
She was.
I'm sure Ricky had a lot, Desi Arnaz had a lot to do with it, but for the most part, funny as heck.
She was a sharp businesswoman, too.
She was very sharp. So she's buried in her hometown in New York. They had moved her body. She's got Lucille.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She used to talk about it on the show. I can't remember, but she used to talk about where she was from. Jamestown, I think. And she's, yeah. So she was always great. Yeah. So, Lucy is just as funny as a lot of the financial media out there today when you watch them trying to push crap on you. It's sort of it's funny, all media, including financial media. And listen, I like a lot of people that when I watch financial media, I'm not watching it for the hosts. I'm watching it for some of the guests or analysts that I actually do follow when they come on. I'm not listening to what the host is talking about because, again, everybody's got an agenda. I'm listening to really Jason Tennert's going to be on or this person's going to be on. So I'm always interested in that commentary. So then I sign up for a lot of commentaries. So I don't even have to watch the financial media. Sometimes it's just to look at the stock prices. But That's the last way. That's not the way you really want to invest.
No, I mean, I follow the headlines too and all the stories. I really look at it too for how the media makes everything very emotional and how they kind of pull on our strings a little bit as investors and how they use very specific words and adjectives to, the market's getting crushed, or
when
markets
it's down like 5%.
Yeah, the market's having a big slide today, the biggest slide in the last 12 months, and the market's down 1%, 1.5%, or something's going on at that time. I'm like, no wonder why as investors out there we all get rattled.
And not many people know that Lucy was instrumental to the creation or the promotion of Star Trek.
I learned something new today.
She was a visionary. Captain Kirk will go, "Con, Lucy! What would we do without you?" William Shatner, man, still going on. 90-something plus. Cannot believe it. Just keeps going.
He does.
Like an Energizer bunny. Captain Kirk, moving on. We'll be right back.
The Real Investment Advice blog. It's required reading for the informed investor. Catch it today at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Medicare Open Enrollment is underway. If you need Medicare insurance coverage, RIA advisors can help. Understanding Medicare choices, enrollment deadlines, and costs are essential to your overall standard of living in retirement. The wrong choices can cost you thousands in lost benefits and penalties. Make sense of Medicare's alphabet soup with RIA advisors' online resources and one-on-one partners to help secure the healthcare insurance choice that's right for your lifestyle and budget. Click on the insurance tab at realinvestmentadvice.com today. realinvestmentadvice.com.
Hi, Lance Roberts here. If you're like most people, your 401k plan represents the bulk of your retirement assets. And unfortunately for many, managing your 401k plan can be difficult. There's so many choices, so many things to consider. With just a quick email, a couple of questions, you can put RIA advisors to work for you managing your 401k plan. Just simply click Ask a Question at realinvestmentadvice.com or give us a call at 855-RIA-PLAN. That's realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
And now, another page from the Real Investment Advisors Investing Manifesto. Manage risk and volatility rather than trying to manage gains. You don't have to be right all the time. Long-term investing success is a 70% gain. Let us help you reach your financial goals with RIA Advisors. Neither bull nor bear. RIA Advisors, 281-501-1791 or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Can't catch the whole show now? Listen to our podcast later at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Slept right through my alarm this morning. My wife woke me up. I was in the middle of this dream when she woke me up of the alien armada coming to Earth.
The Real Investment Show podcast.
My wife's ex-husband's new wife is a flat earther. She believes the Earth is flat. And so in my dream, the alien armada is coming to explain to her that the Earth is actually round.
Same show, your schedule.
Nice.
Anyway, I woke up late, so here I am.
I bet you Richard could do a script treatment of that one.
At realinvestmentadvice.com.
I'm thinking more like Mars Attacks. That was the one.
When it comes to wealth management, most people think of stocks and bonds, but it's like enjoying one layer in a 7-layer cake. At RIA Advisors, we want to make sure you get your cake and eat it too. Social Security, Medicare, creating a tax-friendly retirement paycheck. Perhaps you're saving for college. How about life insurance, guaranteed income solutions, all along with comprehensive planning. At RIA, a holistic approach to your money is our priority. Call us today, 855-RIA-PLAN, or find us online at realinvestmentadvice.com. realinvestmentadvice.com.
Health and financial security touches everyone within your organization. Offering benefits for all doesn't need to be complicated. Hi, I'm Tom Allen, Senior Benefits Consultant at RIA Advisors. RIA Benefits provides independent expertise to find solutions that speak to the mission of your business, the culture you want to establish, and the budget you are able to work within. Book a free consultation with me at realinvestmentadvice.com/retirement, and we'll find a solution that takes care of your most important asset, your people. realinvestmentadvice.com/retirement, realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show YouTube channel has all our videos ready for your your easy access, like Technically Speaking Tuesday, Financial Fitness Friday, and the latest analysis from Lance Roberts and Michael Leibowitz. Subscribe and bookmark our YouTube channel at realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
Dr. Larry Smith is now on the chat talking about stem cells and fasting. I am a big believer in intermittent fasting, so I do 18-hour fasts. I've never done the multiple 36-hour fasts, but there is a lot of benefits to it. If you so choose to. You may want to start slow, 12 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours. But it's really a healthy way to cleanse those bad cells in your body. So thank you, Dr. Larry Smith.
18 hours. I guess you eventually just kind of get yourself trained.
Because first of all, Larry Red said, you are not going hungry.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat for a week. It's psychologically, it's this, flight or fight, right? You're like, your native caveman comes in like, oh my God, like I'm not going to be able to find food. Like I'm going to have to, get the saber-toothed tiger over at HEB, right? I don't have to go out and forage or anything. So your mind is telling you you're hungry. But once you start talking and all, you go like, listen, you're not going to die. You're not starving to death.
Can you sip are you able to
When Amy
sip
eats
water?
every 5 minutes at the station, I'm telling her she's not going to die. It's just not, you're not going to die.
I did fast for 5 minutes. Hey. That's good. And it's a fast 5 minutes.
It goes real fast. Why do they call it? You should call it slowing. Yeah, they should absolutely call it slowing. So let me tell you where you're going to lose your appetite during Medicare Open Enrollment, and that's where we are right now.
It's that time of year.
It is up through December 7th. Seems appropriate based on how confusing it is. So we do try to help people make sense of the alphabet soup of Medicare. But we find, especially when it comes to Medicare Advantage, although I am not seeing as many ads by all the actors. I'm not seeing my William Shatner, Jimmy JJ,
Joe
Namath. I'm not seeing. It seems like Medicare Advantage is getting a little more serious. They'll just have some elderly, mobile gentleman talking about with his little sweater vest, talking about how important it is to make the right decision. So it's definitely changed. But we are in flux when it comes to Medicare Advantage and also prescription drug Part D, especially due to the Inflation Reduction Act. So there are a lot of changes that are coming next year. So as someone who is going to be on Medicare or on Medicare already, you must look at your plan docs. You must look at your summary of changes because you're going to see quite a few for the upcoming year, right? Especially if I am on just original Medicare Part A and B, and I have a standalone prescription drug plan, based on what's going to change, I better be doing my homework. Many older Americans do not, I think seniors is a derogatory word, like how people like politically correct. I don't look at someone that I work with that's 65 years old. They don't seem senior to me. And maybe that's the classification, but man, I mean, we have 65-year-olds. It's just like, you're not senior at all.
No, still so actively engaged and still folks
65, 40 years ago, you might as well.
Yeah.
It's just very different.
Yeah. And look, hey, there are a lot of folks that I work with that are 65 years young or over, and they're still in some of their prime earning years. I
had to correct a client yesterday. He goes, yeah, I'm a senior now. I'm turned 65. I said, do not use that S word around me. I am offended.
Yeah.
You are not a senior. You're still working. You're probably going to work another 10 years. Sharp as a tack. There's nothing wrong with you. You run marathons. That's not what my grandpa did when he retired at 65.
Yeah, agree.
Okay? So let that go. But you're still Medicare eligible if you're not working for an employer with 20 or more employees. So you have to make sure that you are checking these plans this year. Okay? Because once you're signed up for the new plan, Medicare is going to drop your former plans, especially your standalone drug, and then you're going to be on your new one. So when you look at this, John, you could see we just, so we have a site. We have an insurance site. People can just do their own searches there. We try to educate you about what to look for on that site. We have videos to help you understand Medicare. We try to make sure you are armed to the teeth to understand it, or if you need a concierge approach, we can help you with it. But there are just so many changes, formulary changes, right, John? I mean, how much you're going to pay out of pocket, how much insurance companies are going to pay versus you now, insulin being capped at $35. Mm-hmm. So what ultimately is, there are so many seniors that are on, I just used the word I don't want to use.
There was the S word.
Older Americans that are, say, taking very expensive drugs. And drugs fall into these tiers. There are generic tiers, then there are higher-end generics, and then there are these brand names, right? That are going broke because they pass the donut hole in Part D, which means there's an out-of-pocket cost that they have to pay for, and then they go back into a copay. Now your expenses are capped at $3,300 for brand, $2,000. So if my drug's $15,000 a year, I'm only going to pay max out of pocket.
So for you, that's good.
For you, that's good.
Right.
Where it's going to hurt, I think, going forward is if you're just normal day-to-day older American, you take a blood pressure medication, you take a statin, whatever it is, they're going to finagle that formula for copays and all this and deductibles to where you're going to be paying more.
Yeah, so you may not meet that $2,000 cap, right? So you're going to be paying that out of pocket the whole way along.
Right.
Versus if I'm on some sort of a real specialty prescription or some specialty
Correct.
drug, that would be $10,000, $12,000. I'll be capped at $2,000. So for me, it's a perk, but for somebody else, maybe not.
So I think you're going to see, if you're just taking the normal range of drugs, you're going to see higher premiums, higher co-payments, more narrow networks for Medicare Advantage because they're capping some of what you can make in Medicare Advantage. So how many Medicare Advantage plans are going to drop?
So it looks like, about 1.5 million, 1.5 million Medicare Advantage plans are going to be eliminated, while this was another huge number too. Another 3.5 million are losing their current Medicare drug policies, and that's your Part D, as in David, right? I mean, those are not small numbers, and I guess, and I know we were talking a little bit about this morning, even before we came in here. My question is, if somebody is on a Medicare Advantage plan now and they're not aware that that plan is going away next year, and let's say they don't catch it in time, if let's say they don't choose another plan, is there like a default plan that they go into, or
no?
are they
I think what's going to happen in the statement
luck?
in other words, those older Americans are getting these notifications probably ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's 1.5 million Medicare Advantage plans that are going to drop.
That's right.
So you're getting those that saying, hey, your plan is not around anymore. You better find something else. Or at the least, you're going to switch back to original Medicare.
Right.
And in many cases, original Medicare will take care of a lot of what Medicare Advantage does. People like the bells and whistles of Medicare Advantage. We always prefer Medigap. We prefer when you fill the holes in the Swiss cheese of Medicare, A, B, and D. You want to have something that, like an umbrella policy, covers it all to where I don't have any Part A deductibles. I have nothing. I can walk into the hospital and walk out with minimal charge, if anything. That's what I want, and I want to be willing to. I want to go to any doctor I want, and if a doctor prescribes a treatment to me, I want to be able to do it. Where Medicare Advantage, I may not have that right to do it. Those plans are getting better, but a lot of people, and this is very interesting. This is a study by Commonwealth Fund. 3 in 10 beneficiaries in Medicare Advantage plans did not use any of their plan's supplemental benefits throughout the year. So there's going to be a new ruling taking effect in 2025, mid-year notification to Medicare Advantage policyholders like, hey, you get silver sneakers with this. Hey, you got dental coverage. Hey, you got, they're going to try to help you understand what supplemental benefits do you want. And it's going to be called the mid-year enrollee notification of unused supplemental benefits that they'll get sometime in the summer, July or August. So, there's the biggest message we have for you with this. There are going to be a lot of changes. These plans are going to be in flux. If I have original Medicare, I got A and B, I have D, and I have G, which is Medigap, most comprehensive. I still need to have, I may not be in the same turmoil as somebody that has a Medicare Advantage plan, but I must shop.
You do.
My Part D.
You need to do your homework.
Because of what's going to change in 2025. We're going to continue with this as just for one more segment. Try to make it as exciting as possible. Take your caffeine drug, everybody, including you, Lance, in your French press.
Taster's Choice.
Your Taster's Choice French press. Your Folgers French press. We'll be right back.
Get daily investment news you can use, delivered at the speed of the internet at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Medicare Open Enrollment is underway. If you need Medicare insurance coverage, RIA advisors can help. Understanding Medicare choices, enrollment deadlines, and costs are essential to your overall standard of living in retirement. The wrong choices can cost you thousands in lost benefits and penalties. Make sense of Medicare's alphabet soup with RIA advisors' online resources and one-on-one partners to help secure the healthcare insurance choice that's right for your lifestyle and budget. Click on the Insurance tab at realinvestmentadvice.com today. realinvestmentadvice.com.
Small businesses are now being challenged by the lack of employees and how to attract and recruit the best employees. To get the better employee, you'll have to offer a better package. Hi, I'm Tom Allen, RIA Advisors Retirement Plan Consultant. Don't assume a 401k plan is too costly or complicated for your small business to offer. Let us show you how to make the most of an affordable and effective plan that will deliver true value for your business and your employees. Call me toll-free at 855-RIA-PLAN or online at realinvestmentadvice.com. That's realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
When it comes to wealth management, most people think of stocks and bonds, but it's like enjoying one layer in a 7-layer cake. At RIA Advisors, we want to make sure you get your cake and eat it too. Social Security, Medicare, creating a tax-friendly retirement paycheck. Perhaps you're saving for college. How about life insurance, guaranteed income solutions, all along with comprehensive planning? At RIA, a holistic approach to your money is our priority. Call us today, 855-RIA-PLAN, or find us online at realinvestmentadvice.com. realinvestmentadvice.com.
And now, another page from the Real Investment Advisors Investing Manifesto. A passive investment portfolio requires active risk management. It's not a choice, it's necessity. Diversification doesn't protect against risk of loss. Let us actively help you reach your financial goals with RIA Advisors. Neither bull nor bear. RIA Advisors, 281-501-1791 or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
Right. Lance the Lurker is on our chat this morning. Hi, Lance. He's right. I'm always lurking when Richard is doing the show. I need to maintain damage control. Truer words have never been written. And he does like that Southern pecan coffee. Pecan. HEB. That's one of Brent's favorites too, I think. Yep.
They make good. HEB makes good stuff.
They make good coffee.
It's good. It's good coffee.
I'm gonna make everybody sort of cringe. I do like the HEB pumpkin spice coffee.
Oh man,
it's very pumpkin spicy. I do like it.
It's my new nickname for you.
Pumpkin spicy.
Pumpkin spice.
No, spicy.
Spicy.
We're in Texas. Remember, gotta make it spicy. So you're getting your open enrollment period. It starts now, right? You are gotten your letters saying what's going to change. You might be overwhelmed by that because even if you like your plan, you have to review the adjustments that are coming. If you wait till next year, it's too late to make a switch, right? So you've gotten those notices of change. It's going to detail the changes in coverage for 2025. But I would also tell you, and you could do this off of our site as well, on the Medicare insurance site, have your drugs ready. You can go through a formulary, right? You can go to Medicare. You can go to the Medicare fact finder too on Medicare.gov. Put your drugs in there because again, there's this massive formulary all the companies use, right? But the types of drugs, how the drugs are taken can change. Something can move from a tablet to a capsule, and it looks like it's not covered. These are the little things that are going on, and I don't think the insurance companies are up to date with loading up what's going to change enough. So you got to get as much information as possible before making those changes. It's not an easy feat. We were on a call with a couple of John's clients, and you have to remember that it took, when I got we use AI to sort of document the call, and it gives you an overview at the top, and it said like 223 questions asked. It goes to 43 action steps. I mean, it was massive because the changes, to me, the plans are in a bit of turmoil, right? So Humana is one of the biggest plans. They lost a star rating. Star ratings are a really good way for you to judge how good your Medicare Advantage plans are, right? Some are leaving the market in certain states. So certain states, you're going to have a company, you might be with WellCare, and you might say, oh, they always covered Texas. Now they're not covering Texas. I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying is you have to look at what state you're in. You may not have had to do this kind of homework in the past, but based on the changes coming, you need to do your homework. Medicare.gov, RAA Advisors, insurance site, Medicare link. You need to do your homework. Even if you just have a standalone prescription drug. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you're going to be sitting there for a few hours and you're going to be having to figure out what they're telling you you're going to get, what you're not going to get. And that's...
you just look, hey, the Astros aren't in the playoffs right now, so you've got some time. Sit down and you look at your Medicare Advantage. Look at your Medicare plans. You just make the time to do it.
Just need
and
the entire Saturday to do it. But I mean, just based on what's going on. I will tell you, the searches are easy. But you need to say, okay, my plan's going to change. They don't cover this drug. If you don't make a choice, you say, F this, I'm going to play golf or go to the movies. Okay, you can just be placed in traditional Medicare for 2025. And you will have the chance to buy a Medicare supplemental plan without underwriting. But this is a really brief opportunity to buy Medigap coverage, right? Because Medigap is what we want people to really look at. That's tougher. And so the message here is lots of changes. Don't ignore them. Don't ignore those notices of change. If you need help, we're here to do that. So your clients, because they're paying so much for out-of-pocket, Medicare, I understand Medicare's got its problems. Medicare is a good deal compared to what some people are paying for insurance per month.
Well, usually when we're having those planning conversations and somebody wants to retire, let's say pre-Medicare age, pre-65, let's say they're, 62, 63, what's usually the main expense that they're usually most concerned about? Kind of in that gap between where they can transition over to Medicare, it's My question to them is, okay, well, how are you going to take care of your medical coverage, right? How will you take care of your medical insurance until you can kind of, get to that point where you can transition to Medicare? And when you're out there looking for private policies to kind of bridge that gap,
Yes.
they're not cheap, right?
No. Not cheap at all.
No.
Not cheap at all. So Penlu, I think I said that right. So these looks like somebody who actually does his homework on Medicare Advantage plan. That's important. You just can't be complacent. Something like, I don't know, the majority of seniors, I think like close to 50%, they don't even know the difference between Medicare Advantage and original Medicare. And they don't search their plans. In other words, they lose money because they don't go through this open enrollment period, this annual enrollment period, and do their searches and just make sure that they're still in the plan that's right for them. They just don't want to go through it. Yes, you can use a great Medicare broker. There are a lot of great advisors. We can help you, sort of educate you to make the right choices. You have help out there if you want to. You got to ask for it. And especially this year, you might be on your knees going, I need help. And that's really what we're facing right now.
It is, and it's not that kind of what you say, the alphabet soup of Medicare is confusing alone. The A and the B and the D, and what's this Medicare Advantage? What's this C? And then you have all these Medigap or supplemental plans, and still so many folks get all these letters interchanged, and they don't know what is what. But not even just the alphabet soup of Medicare. I still get a lot of questions. I know you do too, on just when do I even need to enroll, right?
Yeah, this is a survey that was done that showed that 63% of older Americans, they use the S word, feel overwhelmed when making healthcare decisions. And it's lack of understanding of key aspects of their options, including Medicare Advantage supplemental benefits, right? Nearly half were unaware of the supplemental benefits offered, which is why Medicare Advantage is going to be sending out this notification letter. Right? Underutilized because they don't know. Like they're just looking at, I have no deductible and I don't have to worry about that, right? Yet, the survey found 75% of adults age 65 and older use the internet, 61% own smartphones. So there is a way to engage. I will tell you the Medicare.gov site is not bad.
It's actually pretty good.
It is.
It really is
it's
good.
hard for me to say that about a government site, but
Yeah.
it really is very informative. I don't know who's working with them on that site, but I think it's a high quality Medicare site.
I agree.
When you go through the basics, the education, everything that they have there was very impressive to me compared to what I usually say about government.
Yeah, because you can type in Medigap plans, and or like in the search window, and it'll pull up a link that you can click on, and it shows every single supplemental plan side by side and what covers this and what doesn't this cover. So I know for a governmental site, I have to say it's actually pretty good. It does. It's a very useful resource, I think.
Yes, it was, except when you type in Medicare at the top, make sure it's Medicare.gov.
Correct.
So this survey was done by Duos. It's a digital health company. So, and they showed a lot of these older Americans couldn't understand the difference between Medicare, just original Medicare and Medicare Advantage. So health literacy, which I think that's why I created what I wanted to do with Medicare for Us, our site, was the literacy. Because once you get through it, it's not that difficult. You just need someone to help you understand it. Okay, in some ways, I think Medicare is easier to understand than Social Security and all the dynamics of what changes, right? But it's so intimidating, and you're dealing with your health, which makes it even more crucial for you not to make a bad decision. So health literacy is going to be a big part, and this is something I was talking about with a lot of the students over at A&M. Health literacy, wellness, nutrition. This couple of students I was talking to, they said, you were the only company that was talking about this out of all the companies that were recruiting. In 5 to 7 years, you will have a nutritionist on board in your practice. Health is connected to wealth, right? If I'm making good preventative choices, I will have a higher quality, lower cost retirement, or at least my money will be directed to where I want it to go, not to what I don't want it to go. I want to have I want to have an active retirement. And that's where I think you can't disconnect. So health literacy, even on the nutrition side, maybe we'll hire Larry. He seems to be very well equipped with this. I said, he'll go, listen, don't eat for like 2 weeks. You're going to be fine. And then, where you going? Hey, where are you going? You got to slowly talk to people about intermittent fasting. You just can't jump into it.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
I go ahead and tell Amy, listen, you're not going to eat for 4 days. You'll be fine. She'll hang up on me. Brett would hang up on me. We'll be right back. Oh, we're gone. It's over.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Chris, I'm sorry. We're rolling over into your, we're going over into your hour. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. Thanks so much for being. We'll be back next week. Lance on Monday. RealInvestmentAdvice.com. Get Lance's newsletter, man. He's a writing fiend because of all that pecan coffee.
And the taster's choice.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, everyone.